Hello Internet, I am Janak, and I'm going to continue with my Day 6 territory battle runs with the mixed planet of Vandor. I have a couple teams that I haven't used in the past. I recently got some to Relic 9, so I got my Vader to 9, so I will run Lord Vader plus Darkside clones. This is the harder of the two missions because this mission has a nest in it, but on my other account this has been enough to win, so I hope that's the case here again. It is a full auto team. Just throw it on auto and let it run. Occasionally, if they start getting too many stacks of frostbite, you might want to manually target that box in the middle, but it shouldn't be a problem. Most of them do enough AEs to get their stacks of frostbite. Yep. And in wave 2, we don't have to worry about it as much. The only one with frostbite is our Nightfall Trooper. He'll die and he'll come back anyways without it. So now it's just a matter of waiting for the lucky lining up of hits to be able to actually kill off Nest. The only one that does significant damage really is Lord Vader, so need Lord Vader get a turn like that right after her bonus protection is worn off, so he can whittle down a little bit of the regular protection. Now a few hits like that and the regular protection will be gone, and then we'll be into the health. Yeah, CX2 getting that turn after Nest does is a big waste, but that's not too bad. So we got a little bit of health gone, so we're making some progress. And again, CX2 taking that first shot doesn't really do us any good because they don't do enough damage. And you can try and play it manually. It'd be a little faster if you like save Lord Vader's big middle ability, his big jump. Save that until you get into a position where Nest is just taking a turn and it's Lord Vader's turn. Because then you're... Oh, that was nice. With Death Mark, that was enough to kill him off. So that's a 2 out of 2. It takes a little bit of time to get things to line up, but eventually it should be a win. Next battle I'll do is up here in the upper right. Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano can essentially solo this mission. Fulcrum and Ezra will make it faster. My Ezra, I don't have him unlocked yet, so I'm going to be using Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano, Fulcrum, OG Ahsoka, which is Snips, and then I'm also going to throw in Hondo and General Skywalker. Again, this is a full auto team. The one thing I will do is I'll make sure to put captive on someone else off the battle. It won't really make a difference because Hondo's going to die pretty quick anyways. But we're going to want to target TIE Fighter pilot. Probably put captive on, I don't know, one of the range troopers once it gets to be Hondo's turn. And then we'll just go full auto on the TIE Fighter pilot. The kill order is TIE Fighter pilot, and then Stormtrooper commander, then the Stormtrooper, and then the 2 range troopers. And that's going to be the same kill order essentially in the second wave. Oh, they killed off Fulcrum. That's a shame. She's good damage if she stays alive. So this is this is pretty much going to be a solo by Ahsoka then. If you have Ezra, just like Ahsoka, the dots, the frostbite, does not bother Ezra, so he'll pretty much always survive into Wave 2. Your Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, she doesn't get hit by the dots either, but she's a little squishy, so she is subject to damage from the other team. So without the added damage of Ezra and Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, this will be a little bit of a longer battle, but it is still going to be a win. Just might be something you want to fast forward through, because it could be... I've seen it take up to 10 minutes before. I should have my Ezra Exile. He'll definitely be unlocked, and hopefully I have him to relics by next territory battle. So this should be a significantly faster fight. But just like in Kessel, when Ahsoka Tano is fully capable of soloing that whole fight, because the other team, they just can't overcome her protection, regeneration, and her damage mitigation, and that's going to essentially be the same thing here. She will eventually kill them with stacking armor shreds, but it takes a little while to get in. It looks like, I'm surprised that General Skywalker is sticking around as well as he is. He'll be another source of armor shreds, potentially, and damage. Well, if they don't kill him off. I say something, they start focusing him down. Yeah, Fulcrum's a tank, and she does taunt, but she doesn't hold it up long enough to really protect the entire team. So, all right, so now we will go on to the Stormtrooper. And same thing, we just have to start stacking some armor shreds and start whittling him down. This is definitely a fight that you're glad for the auto feature, because this would be a really long fight without it. And especially in these later phases, I do tend to run a lot of these on auto. A lot is because since I've been getting into these later phases, I've been using a website, swgohrote.com. I'm not sure who programmed the website, but big props to them for doing the research and putting the time together to make the website. And they devoted it to showing teams that work for any given node on full auto, or sometimes it's guided auto. I recommend watching their videos. Each team has an associated video, and they're generally pretty short. But sometimes in the commentary in that video, they will give you some comments on things to do, like in the first round you want to attack this guy, or you want to make sure this character does this move first, and then you can put it on full auto. So if you just look at the team and say, oh, it's a full auto team, you might miss some of the preconditions that you need to meet before you can put it on full auto. But I find it to be an extremely useful website. It's good both for figuring out what teams you can use and for planning for the future. You can look and see what teams like have a trend that, oh, they're good in many different phases. So if you target that, you're not just making one team, you're making a team that you can use throughout the entire territory battle. So, all right, so now we've killed off the Stormtrooper. We're going on to the first range trooper. This is really nice that General Skywalker stick around. I have high doubts that he's going to survive the salvo at the beginning of the next phase when they start. They have a full team to put out offense, and she can't soak all of it. So I think he's probably going to die off pretty quick in Wave 2. But just like in Wave, or just like I said earlier, Ahsoka Tano is capable of soloing this. It just takes longer. You know, with General Skywalker there, he's actually adding another armor shred, so it's almost doubling the speed at which she can apply armor shreds. So we'll go after Imperial Officer. In the first wave, you went after TIE Fighter, and you could go after TIE Fighter here, but she's going to counterattack TIE Fighter to death in this wave, so you don't have to target TIE Fighter. You can just go ahead and start on Imperial Officer, which they'll probably die close to the same time. Once she starts getting some armor shreds stacked on Imperial Officer, he'll start taking a little more damage. But after they're dead, the next target, or after Imperial Officer is dead, the next target will be the Stormtrooper Commander, because he's the healer, and then Stormtrooper, and then finish up with the 2 range troopers. And General Skywalker being helpful and throwing an armor shred on. Nope. And General Skywalker, if he doesn't get a turn, he's about, yep, there we go. Like I said, I didn't think he was going to make it through this volley. They've got 6 tunes all putting damage downfield, and she doesn't hold her taunt the entire time, so. But the nice thing is they can't seem to overcome her protection regeneration, so. And there's TIE Fighter pilot. He killed himself with counterattacks. Imperial Officer is almost done. Then we'll switch over to Stormtrooper. Oh, yeah, get off the taunt, and now we'll switch over to Stormtrooper Commander. And they do put a lot of damage downfield. I mean, if you come in with a, I mean, it's easy to look at this and say, oh, well, that, you know, it's easy because they aren't doing much damage. No, they actually are doing a lot of damage. She just mitigates and then regenerates her protection like crazy. It's she's a very resilient character, very hard to kill without proper team makeup. And she doesn't do a whole lot of damage. She does some damage there on that big hit where she puts another armor shred on. So you just have to basically wait for that to come off cooldown. All right. Now we're going to go after Stormtrooper. If you've made it to this point, it's pretty apparent that you've won. It's just a waiting game at this point. If they couldn't kill you with 6 people, they're not going to kill you with 3. So it's just a matter of waiting for enough armor shreds and enough big hits. But the combat missions in these later phases are worth a lot. This is phase 5 planet, so the combat missions are worth 721,000 per win. So yeah, a little bit of time invested for is worth the points. I know my guild is currently pushing for 47 stars for our first time, so any extra combat mission points we can get are all welcome. Which is part of the reason why I went ahead and pulled the trigger and upgraded a couple teams for this territory battle. Because this is the first territory battle that I've had been able to run my Leia team or my Lord Vader team. This is the second territory battle I've been running this Ahsoka team. At least on this account. Alright, a couple more hits on... There we go. And he's gone. And so now we just have to whittle down the 2 range troopers. Looks like they got her below bonus protection, which happens once in a while. And they can actually be a little troublesome because she doesn't... when she has bonus protection, she seems to regenerate that, and it's almost impossible to get her out. But once they've done enough damage to get her out, it's like she stays only like half full or less. But she still is just so resilient. I can't get through her health and protection regen, so it's near impossible to kill her off. Of course, it depends on your modding, but if you have her modded as typical with health and speed and all that jazz. So anyways, a little bit of a lengthy fight, but it's still a win. And we will finish off my fights in Vandor with the fleet mission. This is a standard Executor mission, bringing your bounty hunters. You don't need Razor Crest to win, and I have done this many times in the past without, but if you have him, it's nice to have him in your starting lineup. And then Xanadu, the rest of the bounty hunters, and we'll bring in Ebon Hawk to bring up the rear. I don't think I've ever brought in Ebon Hawk, but typically don't get anywhere close to full reinforcements. As with most of my fights, I like to go pretty much pure offense. So I'm just going to go and do the mass assist right off the bat. Try and get more attacks, apply more target locks so that we can get closer to our locked buffs. Let's do a basic with Houndstooth here. We're going to target their Razor Crest, or their Xanadu, I mean. And because that's who we want to kill first. So let's go ahead and we'll call in Punishing 1. You want to get as many assists as you can. Then I'm going to have Punishing 1 call Razor Crest. And that's going to put Marked on their Xanadu. And it also forces Taunt onto our Houndstooth. And then we're going to bring in our Xanadu. And since they got rid of Marked, we're going to call in our Razor Crest again to put Marked over there on Xanadu, because I want to kill their Xanadu off. And it's a little unfortunate they got Marked on our Razor Crest, but it's not a make or break. So we're just trying to... I'm going to avoid their Slave 1. No, actually, I'm just going to go after him. We have to go over here. Okay, so now we have the locked debuffs on. That's part of the reason why I've been going full offense. I'm going to go ahead and use this on Razor Crest just to get rid of his marked. Since we have locked debuffs on them, we'll now have taunt on Houndstooth for the rest of the fight. It can't be dispelled. It will never wear off. So we'll go ahead and target their Slave 1. We want to make sure you get him out. He becomes the primary target when he's on the field, so we put marked on him. Because when he's on the field, he can drop his bomb, and that does a lot of damage to all of your team. So you're trying to get out the AE, the people that can do AE damage. That's why we took out Xanadu first. They do have 2. Sometimes I would bring in IG because I like his double hit on his basic, but since they have 2, I'm going to bring in my own Slave 1. And since they had the lock debuffs, when he enters the field, his bomb ability is off cooldown, so he can use it immediately. And we'll call in Punishing 1. I'm going to go ahead and do the Mass Assist over here. It should kill off Houndstooth too. Very nice. Got a 2-fer. And we can just put it on auto now. 5v1. And we got ultimate. And a nice smooth win for about 1.5 million points. And that's all the fights I have for Vandor. If you enjoyed the video, you can like and subscribe. Stick around for the next video. I will not be doing anything in Death Star because we already got it to 1 star and we're trying to be efficient, so we're funneling the rest of our points over. So I will be doing my Zepho fights next. Thank you for watching.